I wake up choking on air that isn't mine. For a second, I think it's another nightmare, like all the others. The ones where I watch her walk away, holding his hand, her laughter echoing like glass breaking in my ears. But the ceiling fan above me hums with a soft rattle I haven't heard in years. My bed sheets are the old sky blue set with constellations. The calendar on the wall reads, April 2nd, second year of high school. No. No, no, no. This can't be. I launch myself upright, my hands trembling, eyes darting across the room, searching for evidence I've truly gone mad. My phone buzzes on the nightstand. Same cracked corner. Same sticker on the back, half peeled from when Yuki gave it to me. Yuki. My fingers go cold as I unlock the screen. There it is. Our class group chat. I remember this exact moment. Big news coming. Smiling face with heart eyes. That's her first message. Yuki never liked to share attention, so if she posted something, it meant she wanted the entire world watching. I feel a chill crawl across my shoulders. Haruto and I are running for student council president and vice president. Wish us luck, Red Heart. I dropped the phone like it's burned me. We were supposed to run together. I remember middle school, us sitting under the sakura trees, swearing we'd change the school together. You'll be president, she said with a laugh. And I'll be your VP. Our reign starts now. It was stupid, idealistic. But it meant something to me. It kept meaning something, all the way until she stood on stage with Haruto in that white uniform, pretending she had never promised me anything. I lived that. I bled for that. I died still wondering why she betrayed me. And now I'm here again. On the very day she chose him. I stare at the screen as the reactions flood in, emoji hearts, clapping hands, classmates gushing over how cute they'll be together. The whole group chat becomes a shrine to their perfect new pairing. History is repeating itself. But I'm not the same. Not anymore. I turn off my phone and pull my knees to my chest. My heart is thudding, not from heartbreak this time, but from anger, a deep, cold fury that's been marinating for years. She smiled at me while twisting the knife. Then she let everyone else praise her for it. Not again. This time, I won't be the fool chasing her shadow. I'm still sitting there, stunned, when I hear the morning bell echo faintly from across town. My school uniform still fits. I grab it mechanically, tie the old blue necktie with autopilot muscle memory, and step out into the spring air. It's all the same. The scent of cherry blossoms. The sleepy shopkeepers opening shutters. Students biking past with toast in their mouths like a scene straight out of an anime. Except I'm carrying a dead boy's regrets on my back. I walk slower than I need to, hoping the hallways will already be filled by the time I arrive. I don't want to see her. Not yet. Not when I still feel like I've been punched in the chest. I slip into class and take a seat near the window, the one I always used to sit at. The sunlight falls through the pane, catching the specks of dust in the air like glitter. She's already there. Yuki. Long hair curled perfectly. Laughing in that fake, soft tone she uses when she's putting on a show. Haruto sits beside her now, his body turned slightly toward her, like they've already decided the whole world should orbit their connection. She hasn't even looked my way. Not yet. I look down at my desk, heart racing, fighting the storm inside me. Then I feel something. A gaze. Not from her. Not from him. From across the room. A girl with ink-black hair and silver-rimmed glasses watches me silently from the back row. She's dressed neatly, her fringe just brushing the edge of her lashes. Her eyes aren't wide with curiosity or judgment. They're focused. Intense. Unblinking. Like she's been waiting for this version of me to arrive. Mayu. I remember her now. In my past life, I barely noticed her. A quiet girl who always sat in the back. Nobody ever teased her, but no one talked to her either. I recall her giving me an umbrella once when it rained, even though she got soaked walking home. I remember thinking it was just kindness. Nothing more. But now, with the clarity of someone who's lived twice, I see it differently. She didn't just notice me. She watched me. In a world full of masks, maybe hers was the only face that never changed. She tilts her head, ever so slightly. There's something in her eyes, something unreadable. I blink, and the bell rings again. My second life has begun. And I've already made my first choice. I'm not chasing Yuki again. It's hard to concentrate when your heart is still catching up to the calendar. Homeroom rolls on like I'm not silently having an existential breakdown 3 rows from the board. The teacher drones through announcements, papers shuffle, laughter ripples from Yuki's side of the room like someone keeps opening the same wound and expecting it to heal. I don't look her way. I can't. My mind is drifting, backward, through time that no longer exists. I remember the last time I trusted her. I really trusted her. It was right before exams last year. I stayed up helping her study while she texted other people mid-sentence. I thought that was love. Supporting her. Giving more than I got. She told me, "You'll go far, you're special," and I clung to that like it meant she believed in me. But I see it now for what it was, convenience. She used my loyalty as a stepping stone to Haruto's world. The clubs. The spotlight. The student council role. I watched her drift further into his orbit while pretending we were still on the same path. She didn't break my heart all at once. She chipped at it until nothing was left but hollow belief. And I let her. Because I thought my dream, getting into Kanzaki University, the best tech and business program in the region, required her. That somehow, chasing success meant chasing with her. But that was never true. My dream existed before she ever smiled at me. I used to sneak into my mom's room when I was a kid and mess with the calculator she kept on her desk. I liked the feel of numbers under my fingers, the quiet logic of coding puzzles on scratch paper, the way math whispered truths that didn't change depending on who liked you. My mom died when I was 13, heart failure. She used to say, "Leave your mark somewhere real, somewhere that outlives you." I had forgotten that. Forgotten her. All because I wanted to impress a girl who forgot me the second someone shinier came along. Now I remember. I'm not here to impress Yuki. I'm here to become someone my mom would have been proud of. That's my reason now. And maybe, just maybe, that's the difference that will change everything. Hey. A soft voice beside me. I flinch. It's her. Mayu. She's standing with her notebook clasped against her chest, her gaze tilted downward but steady. I realize I've been scribbling on the back of a worksheet, half equations, half chaotic thoughts. Probably looked like a madman doing calculus therapy. You dropped this. She holds out a pen. It's mine. I didn't even notice it fell. Oh, thanks. She doesn't walk away. Instead, she stares, more gently now, less like a storm, more like a mirror. I liked what you wrote, she says. My stomach tightens. You read it? She nods. Not all of it. Just, the part about the algorithm that adapts based on emotional logic. That's yours, right? I blink. Yeah. It's just a draft. It's brilliant. The word hits harder than it should. No sarcasm. No flattery. Just a simple, anchored truth. I look at her again. I've always thought she was, strange. Too quiet. Too intense. The kind of girl people avoided because they didn't understand her. But maybe she just wasn't loud about things that mattered. Thanks, Mayu. Her lips twitch like they might form a smile, but they don't. Instead, she tucks her hair behind her ear and walks away, silent as snowfall. Yuki never once asked me about my algorithms. Haruto used to joke that I belonged in a lab more than a classroom. But Mayu? She noticed. She understood. I looked down at my worksheet again. A strange warmth fills my chest, something dangerously close to hope. Maybe this second life won't be about avoiding the same pain. Maybe it's about finally seeing the people I ignored the first time. If time travel has a smell, it's floor polish and chalk dust. The school building is exactly as I remember it, down to the stubborn light in the hallway that flickers like a dying star. But even though everything looks the same, I don't walk the halls the same way anymore. I keep my head down. Avoid unnecessary conversation. Stay on the periphery. Not because I'm scared, but because I'm watching. This time, I want to see clearly. In the past, I let people shape me. Laughed when it wasn't funny. Apologized when I wasn't wrong. I was Yuki's shadow for so long, I forgot what my own footsteps sounded like. Not anymore. At lunch, I head to the library. Not because I'm hungry, but because it's quiet, peaceful, predictable. Until I hear her laugh. Yuki. Just outside the glass door, she's standing with Haruto, back turned, gesturing animatedly while he leans in a little too close. They look good together, too good. The perfect student council candidates. The golden pair. She says something about campaign posters. He teases her. She smacks his arm playfully. I wonder if that was rehearsed. I wonder if she even remembers what she promised me in the last life. Probably not. To her, it was just a conversation. To me, it was the future. I step back from the door before they see me. Running away, a soft voice says beside me. I turn, and find Mayu, her arms folded loosely, standing like she's been there the whole time. No, I say, not quite convincingly. Just, avoiding distractions. Smart, she says, and starts walking past me into the library like it's nothing. But it's not nothing. She saw them too. She saw me seeing them. And she didn't say, "Are you okay?" She didn't say, "You should talk to her." She didn't tell me what to feel. She just watched. Not like she pitied me, but like she understood me. Later, in math class, I deliberately sat 2 rows away from Yuki instead of our usual shared desk. She throws a confused glance at me across the room, her eyebrows knitting slightly. I pretend not to see it. Haruto notices, though. After class, he corners me near the lockers. "You and Yuki have a fight?" he asks casually, leaning on the cold steel like this is a conversation he's entitled to start. "No," I answered plainly. "Could have fooled me," he says, smirking. "She seemed a little off today." I shrug. I guess it's hard when someone finally says no to her. His smirk falters. He wasn't expecting that. "I'm just saying," he continues, his tone dipping into something smoother, "if you're not gonna be there for her, someone else will." "She already chose who she wants next to her," I reply. "Don't worry. I'm not in your way." I walk off before he can answer. The truth is, I'm not angry at Haruto. Not like I used to be. I get it now. He didn't take anything from me. Yuki offered it to him. It just took me dying to understand the difference. At my desk after school, I find a folded note under my book. No name. Just neat handwriting. It's easier to see people when you stop trying to be seen by them. Mayu. I don't know how she put it into words, but it's exactly what I've been trying to do, fade out of the noise long enough to hear my own voice again. I glance back across the room. She's packing up her bag, quiet as always. Yuki's still surrounded by classmates, laughing a little too hard. This time, I don't envy her. This time, I don't feel invisible. This time, I chose distance. Friday night arrives like a dare I don't want to answer. The class group chat lights up again, this time with an invitation. Microphone karaoke night. Everyone, come. Let's blow off some steam before exams. Microphone. Location, Yukara Lounge, 6 p.m. Organized by, guess who? Yuki and Haruto. In the past, I went. Sat stiff in the back corner, clapping politely as Yuki sang her favorite ballad. I remember how her eyes met mine mid-chorus and how, for a moment, I believed she still cared. But she wasn't singing to me. Not anymore. I almost skipped it. But something inside me says, you don't grow by hiding. So I go. The lounge is exactly what I remember, neon lights, faux leather booths, a gaudy disco ball rotating pointlessly. I arrive 10 minutes late, wearing plain black and headphones around my neck, not because I'm listening to music, but because it lets me pretend I'm somewhere else. I scan the room. Haruto's already taken center stage, mic in hand, singing some upbeat pop songs with fake confidence. Yuki's beside him in the booth, sipping soda and laughing like she's never known a sad day in her life. I slip into the farthest booth alone. And that's when I see her, Mayu. She's here. In a gray hoodie and a black pleated skirt, her long hair pinned back loosely. She's not with anyone. Just sitting alone near the vending machine, sketching something in a small notebook. Her eyes flick up once when she spots me, then return to the page. She came, too. Alone. Intentionally. Like she was told this was a battlefield and walked in anyway. I exhale and nod to myself. Let the war begin. A few classmates come over to say hi, out of politeness more than interest. I smile thinly, offer quick responses, and return to sipping my drink. Then the inevitable happens. Yuki's up, someone shouts, and the room applauds. I already know the song before it starts, the same soft piano ballad she sang last time. The one we used to hum walking home. She sings it like a memory, eyes half-lidded, pretending to be fragile. Halfway through, Haruto joins in for a surprise duet. I laugh under my breath. Everything about it is rehearsed. Performative. Even the blush she fakes when their hands graze during the chorus. The whole room erupts when they finish. I pick up my phone, open her profile, and press unfollow. The screen blinks once. Then silence. No drama. No warning. Just, gone. It's my first real step away from the version of me who would have sat there clapping with a cracked heart. When I look up, Yuki is staring at me from across the room. It's brief. Confused. Like she felt something shift and doesn't know why. I hold the gaze for one heartbeat longer than I should, then look away. To Mayu. She's still sketching. But she's smiling now. And for the first time all night, something inside me relaxes. After the party, I head for the station alone. The air outside is cool, just on the edge of spring. Footsteps behind me tap steadily on the pavement. Wait, it's Mayu. She catches up, breathless but composed. You left early, she says. Not my scene, I shrug. I know. She hands me a folded piece of paper. You dropped this. I take it, though I know I didn't drop anything. Inside is a drawing. It's me, sitting in the booth, drawn with quick strokes, shadows curled around me. There's a tiny silhouette in the far corner, almost invisible, her. You noticed me, I murmured. Mayu doesn't answer. She just walks off into the night, her long shadow stretching beside mine for a few seconds before disappearing. I thought unfollowing Yuki would be enough, but it only made her notice me more. By Monday morning, I'm trending, at least in our school's ecosystem. Not online. Just in whispered classroom gossip, darting hallway glances, and group chats I'm no longer part of. I hear my name in fragments. He unfollowed her. Embarrassed Haruto. Was that his new girlfriend or something? Mayu walks beside me in the corridor, hugging her sketchpad like armor. She hasn't said much since karaoke night, but she walks with purpose now. Proud, like someone who's finally allowed to walk in sunlight. It's strange how her silence feels more loyal than anyone else's words. Then, it happens. At lunch, in the courtyard, in front of almost the entire grade. Yuki walks straight up to me. Her voice is bright. Too bright. Hey, she says, loud enough to pull everyone's attention. Can we talk? I hesitate, but curiosity draws me in. She doesn't wait for a reply. You unfollowed me. Her smile is tight now. Why? There's silence. People gather like crows. Phones are out. Some are already recording. I meet her gaze. Because I didn't want to see you anymore. The crowd murmurs. A few gasps. One snort of laughter. Her expression stiffens. You're still upset, aren't you? No, I say. I'm not upset. I'm done. She blinks. Then scoffs. Wow. So dramatic. Is this because of her? She points, not subtly. At Mayu, who's standing off to the side, still and composed, like she expected this moment. My hands curl into fists. Don't bring her into this. Yuki steps closer. You think she's different? She's using you. Everyone knows what she is. Creepy little stalker. Obsessed with you since middle school. You really think you're her first target? For a moment, I'm 13 again. Hearing whispers behind my back. Laughing when Mayu's name came up. Doing nothing to stop it. But not this time. I breathe in. She's the only one who's never lied to me, I say. And the only one who never made me feel small. Yuki's mask cracks. The courtyard is dead silent. She shakes her head, mutters something under her breath, and walks away, fast, embarrassed, exposed. Haruto follows, too slow to catch up. Everyone watches them go. Then the crowd disperses, as if nothing happened. Like they'd seen a fight at a zoo and got bored once the lion turned away. I glance toward Mayu. She's not smiling. Not gloating. Just watching me like she always has, quiet, focused, present. When I walk toward her, she says one thing. You didn't need to defend me. I didn't, I say. I defended myself. She tilts her head. Something flickers in her expression, approval, maybe even affection. Then she turns and starts walking again, not checking if I'll follow. But I do. The sky broke long before I did. Clouds churned all day, gray and low, like something was pressing down on the world. I should have gone straight home, but my feet wandered, past the school gates, through the back streets, toward the art building where Mayu always lingers after class. She's still there, sitting alone under the covered stairwell, drawing in her sketchpad as if the storm hasn't already begun. Raindrops tap the metal roof above us. I pause just outside the shelter. She looks up, her eyes meeting mine, not startled, just expectant. Did you follow me? She asks, tone even, no accusation. No, I say. I think I was hoping you'd be here. She shifts slightly, patting the concrete beside her. I sat down. For a while, we listen to the rain. The silence is dense, but not uncomfortable. It wraps around us like a blanket. I peek at her sketchpad. She's drawn me. Again. This time, I'm not laughing or smiling like in her old ones. I look real. I'm a little tired. A little sad. But alive. You see me clearer than I see myself, I say, more to the storm than to her. Her pencil pauses. You let people tell you who you are, she murmurs. But I watch. A clap of thunder cuts through the air. I flinch. Just a little. But she notices. She always notices. Then, without asking, she reaches out, her fingers barely brushing my wrist. The contact is featherlight. Electric. I glance down at our hands. Mine twitch, but don't pull away. It's not a romantic gesture. Not yet. It's grounding. Gentle. Like she's saying, you're safe now. You can stop pretending. My throat tightens. Back then, I whisper, when everyone was laughing at you, because of the shrine, the photos. I didn't stop them. I know. I was scared of being on the outside too. She turns toward me. Her hair falls over one eye, damp at the tips. And now. I think I've been outside for a long time, I say. Just didn't know it. The rain shifts, heavier now, drumming louder, drowning out the world. She laces her fingers with mine. This time, I let her. We don't speak again, but the quiet between us isn't empty anymore. It's a truce. A new beginning. Or maybe something that was always waiting beneath the surface, needing only the right silence to bloom. When the rain lets up, we walk home together, fingers still intertwined. She doesn't ask what this means. And I don't offer a label. Some things don't need names to be real. I didn't mean to end up at her place. The rain had stopped hours ago, replaced by a thick dusk. We'd lingered after school, again, this time longer. When she mentioned she forgot her umbrella and couldn't go home alone in the dark, I offered to walk with her. I live nearby, she said softly, watching my expression, as if giving me a choice. But I didn't need time to decide. We took the back road. Quiet, narrow. No other footsteps but ours. Her house was tucked away at the end of a winding path, shielded by tall trees and silence. An old wooden gate, faded wind chimes. It looked, forgotten, like a place out of time. Inside, it smelled of dust and something sweet. Not decay, more like loneliness. I live alone, she said, slipping off her shoes. My aunt checks in sometimes. But she mostly just sends money. She turned, looked at me with that unreadable expression. It's okay, though. I like the quiet. I followed her into the house, and then into her room. And stopped. Her walls were covered in me. Photos. Sketches. Newspaper clippings from school. Even a flyer from the student council campaign I joined last year, where I lost miserably. I stood in the doorway, throat dry. She noticed. I can take it down, she whispered. If you hate it. My heart pounded in my ears. You kept all of this. I never stopped watching you. Her voice trembled. Even after everyone else did. She stepped closer to the wall, trailing her fingers along a drawing of me laughing, one I didn't even remember ever laughing that way. You were always kind, she said. Even when you weren't brave. Her room was a shrine. But not just of obsession. It was filled with grief. Of moments we never had. Of words she never said. Of love, yes, but also sorrow so deep it carved itself into the very air. I sat on her bed, dizzy. She joined me, cautiously, like she was afraid I might vanish. Why me? I asked. She tilted her head, eyes glossy. Because when I was at my lowest, you didn't laugh. You didn't join them. I remembered. That day, years ago. She'd been crying under the old gym stairs. I'd found her there. I didn't say anything. Just left a bottle of water and walked away. I didn't know that tiny kindness had saved someone. But she remembered every second. I've loved you since then, she said, voice barely audible. Even when you forgot I existed. I stared at the wall again. My past staring back at me through her eyes. I didn't deserve this, I murmured. No, she replied. You didn't. But I gave it anyway. I reached for her hand. Not out of pity. Not fear. Something had changed. Her love wasn't a cage, it was a mirror. Reflecting every crack in me I had tried to hide. For once, I didn't look away. It started with a message. From her. Rika. The girl who broke me in front of the entire class. The one who laughed when I was humiliated. The same girl who hadn't spoken a word to me in months. Now. Hey, mind if we talk? I stared at my phone for minutes. Rika. Reaching out. And not in the group chat, this was direct. Personal. I didn't reply. But the next day, she cornered me outside the library. "Hey," she said, all casual, like we were still friends. I blinked. "What do you want?" She pouted slightly. "Can't a girl say hi to an old friend?" Old friend. Right. I turned to leave, but she caught my sleeve. "I was wrong," she said. That stopped me. She lowered her voice. "About you. About everything. I just saw you with that weird girl. Mayu, right? And I guess it made me realize I messed up." I pulled back slowly. "Why now?" She hesitated. "Because you're different. Confidence. Calmer. Not chasing me like some lovesick dog. It's attractive." There it was. Not guilt. Not love. Curiosity. I walked away. I should have felt proud. Vindicated. But instead, I felt nauseous. Because later that day, Mayu heard. Rumors spread fast, especially when Rika wanted them to. "Are you leaving me?" Mayu asked quietly, standing by my desk after class. Her eyes weren't teary. Just wide, hollow. The same way they'd looked years ago, when no one chose her. "No," I said instantly. "Never." She looked down at her hands. Fingernails digging into her skin. I knew she'd try. She only wants things when they belong to someone else. "I'm not a thing." "I know," she whispered. "But she'll treat you like one again. And I'm scared, you'll let her." I touched her shoulder gently. "I see her now. For what she is. But I see you, too. And I'm not walking away." She looked up, just for a second, and smiled. A real one. But I noticed it then. The fear hadn't left her. It had just sunk deeper. That night, another message came. From Rika. "I miss us. Can we start over?" And underneath it, a photo from our second-year trip, me asleep, Rika beside me, smiling at the camera like we were some fairy tale couple. She was trying to rewrite history. But I wasn't the same boy anymore. Still, I didn't delete the message. And Mayu noticed that, too. Mayu had always smiled. Sweet, soft, gentle. Even when others mocked her. Even when she was called creepy, clingy, or mental. She smiled. Until now. It was after school, behind the gym building, our secret spot. We sat on the stairs, the light warm and low, her shoulder brushing mine. She was quiet. Too quiet. I tried to lighten the mood. "You okay?" She tilted her head and nodded, but the smile didn't reach her eyes. "You didn't reply to Rika's message," she said. "Not a question. A statement." "I didn't need to," I replied carefully. Mayu blinked. "But you didn't delete it either." I looked away. I guess I wanted a reminder. Of who she really is. Silence stretched. Then, softly, Mayu murmured, "Do you still like her?" I turned to her, heart tight. "No. I don't. I like you." She smiled again. But it was different this time. Too wide. Too still. "You love me," she said. I hesitated. Her hand reached out, gently tracing my wrist with a fingertip. "You said you'd never leave me. Not like before. Right?" "Right," I said, unsure why my throat had gone dry. Mayu leaned closer. "Because if you did, I wouldn't know what I'd do." That was the first time I felt it. The chill. Not from her touch. But from the space between her words. She stood up suddenly, brushing off her skirt. "You should block her," she said cheerfully. "It's better for both of us." I nodded slowly. "Okay." But when I pulled out my phone, her eyes stayed locked on my screen. Watching. Waiting. I tapped block contact. And her smile softened. That night, I couldn't sleep. There was nothing overtly wrong. She hadn't screamed. She hadn't cried. She hadn't done anything. But there was something in the way she smiled. Like it was hiding a storm. The next morning, Rika didn't show up to school. She'd fallen down the stairs at home. Sprained her ankle. Nothing serious. But I couldn't shake the feeling. Especially when Mayu slipped her hand into mine during homeroom and whispered. "Now it's just us again. There are things you forget, not because they're unimportant, but because some part of you doesn't want to remember." That's what I told myself as I stood in front of the old elementary school. Mayu and I had gone there. Years ago. She said she kept the key to the memories I'd buried. I hadn't believed her. Until the dream started. Flashes of a girl crying in a broom closet. A teacher yelled. A pair of scissors missing from the art room. And me, running. Why did I feel guilty? Why did her face always appear, covered in tears and blood? I didn't plan to go back. But something drew me here. The building was being demolished. One final week before the wrecking crews tore it down. I walked the empty halls alone, dust kicking up with every step. Then I found it. Classroom 1B. The door creaked open. A wave of old chalk and forgotten memories hit me. And in the back corner, a tiny drawing, scratched into the wall. A crude sketch of two children, a boy and a girl. "I'll protect you forever." I stared at it, heart pounding. I didn't remember drawing this. But the handwriting was mine. That night, I confronted Mayu. We were in my room. She was folding my laundry like she always did. Like it was her right. Like she belonged here more than I did. "Mayu," I said, "what happened in elementary school?" She didn't look up. "Why did I promise to protect you?" She kept folding. "I found our old classroom. I saw the message. And I've been having dreams. Bad ones." Her hands stopped. "I lied," she said softly. "About what?" Her eyes met mine. "About the first time we met." I froze. "We weren't strangers in middle school," she continued. "You just forgot." My chest tightened. Why would I forget something like that? Mayu smiled, but her voice trembled. "Because your parents made you." Then, like a dam breaking, her words poured out. "There was a boy in our class. He used to hurt me, push me into lockers, pull my hair. One day, you saw it happen. You hit him. Hard. He hit the wall and needed stitches. You were suspended." My breath caught. "Your parents were furious. They blamed me. Said I was a bad influence. Said I made you violent." She looked down at her hands. "They transferred you to another school. And told you I was just some weird girl you didn't need to remember." I sat there, stunned. Was that true? Was that why Mayu had felt so familiar? "I waited," she said, "for years. Then I found out where you transferred. So I applied to your middle school. And again, to your high school." She smiled. "Not Yandere sweet, something almost normal. Almost sad. I followed you through 3 schools. I watched you fall in love with someone else. Get hurt. Again and again. But I waited. Because I knew, eventually, you'd remember who really loved you." I couldn't speak. A part of me wanted to run. Another part, darker, deeper, wanted to hold her and apologize. Not for what she did. But I forgot. I used to think kindness could fix anything. That if you explained yourself clearly, gently, if you were patient and careful, people would understand. They'd change. They'd listen. But Mayu wasn't like that. After the night she confessed everything. From our childhood to the way she orchestrated our reunion, something in me cracked. I didn't scream at her. I didn't shove her out of my apartment like some movie climax. I just sat down, quietly. And I said, "Mayu, I need space." She blinked. "What do you mean?" "I mean I need time. Alone. To process this. To think." Her smile didn't falter. "Of course. I understand. I'll just make dinner and then." "No," I forced the words out. "I need you to leave. Just for a while." The smile trembled. I froze. "But, you just found out how much we mean to each other." I exhaled slowly. "Exactly. That's why I need space." I thought she'd argue. Instead, she stood, picked up her bag. I walked to the door, paused, then said, without turning around, "You're being so kind. That's what makes it worse." And she left. For a moment, I thought I'd done it. I'd set a boundary. I chose myself. But kindness, I've learned, can be a double-edged sword. That night, she texted me a photo. Our high school yearbook. The page where I signed, "You'll always have a part of me. Don't ever lose it." She followed it with, "I didn't lose it. I kept every piece. Even the ones you threw away." I didn't reply. The next day, my front door had a sticky note on it. "Restocked your fridge. You looked tired. Please don't hate me for loving you." I checked. The fridge was full. How did she get in? That night, I locked all the windows. The next morning, there was tea in a thermos outside my door. The kind I always drank in college. The brand they discontinued 2 years ago. I never told her I missed it. She must have ordered it online, hunted it down, stockpiled it. And then I saw the note tucked under the thermos lid. "If space is what you need, I'll become the air." The boundary I tried to build, gentle, kind, was already dissolving. I tried to block her number. She messaged me from a new one. I tried to act cold. She left handwritten letters. I tried to ignore her. And she waited. Silent, smiling, watching from afar. Never too close. Never gone. I started to feel crazy. My friends noticed. You've been off lately, Ayaka said over lunch. Are you sleeping? I lied. Because what was I supposed to say? My childhood friend orchestrated our reconnection, confessed she's been following me for years, and now respects boundaries the way fire respects gasoline. I thought kindness could protect me. But kindness, to Mayu, was permission. I learned something terrifying. Sometimes, being gentle makes you easier to hold. Sometimes, the softer you speak, the harder they grip. I used to think Mayu was just, intense. Traumatized. Loving too much in a world that gave her too little. Maybe I could help her heal. Recenter her. But now I know the truth. She wasn't broken. She was deliberate. The final thread unraveled on a Wednesday, in the school's archive room. I'd volunteered to help a teacher move old documents for graduation prep, mostly dusty yearbooks and records. That's when I found the file. Transfer records. One was mine, from the year I switched schools after the incident in elementary. But right beneath it, Mayu's file. She'd followed me again. Not once. Not twice. 3 times. Every school I moved to, she somehow got in. In one of the folders was a handwritten letter, likely from her guardian, to the principal of my current school. Mayu has difficulty forming attachments due to childhood trauma. We believe allowing her to remain near a familiar face may ease her transition. A familiar face. Me. It wasn't fate. It wasn't a coincidence. It was a strategy. Later that evening, I returned home to find my door unlocked. Mayu was inside, wearing my hoodie, stirring soup on the stove. I missed you, she said. I didn't respond. I stepped forward, slowly, like approaching a cornered animal, or something worse. Mayu, I said evenly. How long have you been planning this? She turned, blinking, too fast. What do you mean? You know what I mean. She set the ladle down, quiet, calm, but I could see the storm in her hands, the way they twitched, folded, clenched. I didn't plan anything, she said. You followed me. You lied about how we met. You forged letters. You knew exactly where I'd be. Silence. Then, almost tenderly, she whispered. I made sure we were never strangers. I felt my stomach twist. Why? I asked. Her voice cracked. Because if I didn't do anything, you would have forgotten me forever. And I couldn't let that happen again. But this isn't love, I said. This is control. She stepped closer. No. It's care. You were drifting. Rika used you. Everyone else ignored you. I was the only one who saw the real you. I stepped back. You don't love me, Mayu. You love owning me. Her eyes shimmered, but not from sadness. From fire. I protected you. When no one else would. When even you wouldn't. She reached for my hand. I pulled away. I'm not yours, I said. She stared at me, stunned. Not because she hadn't heard it, but because she never thought I'd say it. Her voice dropped to a whisper. If you leave me, she said, you'll disappear again. Just like before. I shook my head. No, Mayu. This time, I will disappear on my terms. And I walked out the door. I didn't look back. But as it shut behind me, I swore I heard her say, so softly, it might have been imagined. Then I'll just have to follow again. It's strange how grief can show up before anything dies. The night before I left town, I walked through all the places Mayu had once followed me to, our middle school gates, the old train platform she once bumped into me at, the convenience store where she always, coincidentally, arrived right after I did. I wasn't mourning a breakup. I was mourning the version of myself who believed love meant surrender. The bus was scheduled for 6 a.m. I had one suitcase. One bag. And, for the first time, no goodbyes planned. But at 5:52, Mayu stood by the terminal gate. She wasn't crying. She wasn't pleading. She looked like she was trying to memorize me. I knew you'd come, I said quietly. She stepped forward. I wanted to say something. Just once. Without manipulation. I didn't interrupt. She swallowed hard. I don't think I ever knew how to love, not in the way normal people do. But I did love you. In my own, twisted way. I know. I thought if I could just make myself irreplaceable, you'd never leave. You did become irreplaceable, I said. But not in the way you think. Her lip quivered. Will you hate me forever? I sighed. No. But I won't forgive you to make you feel better, either. The bus arrived. Mayu looked at it like it was a guillotine. As I turned to board, she whispered, do you ever think, maybe, in another life? I stopped. We'd meet again? I asked. She nodded. I met her eyes, so full of unfinished versions of us. I hope, in that life, I said, we're both people we don't have to survive. Then I got on the bus. I didn't watch her fade from the rear window. I closed my eyes. For the first time in years, there were no footsteps behind me. No shadow pacing mine. No strings tugging from unseen corners. Just silence. And peace. 6 months after I left, a package arrived at my university dorm. No return address. No name. But I knew it was from her. Inside, a bundle of letters, neatly stacked, never sent. Some dated years ago. Some from only weeks back. I didn't read them all. I read just one. If you're reading this, it means you really left. And that I couldn't stop you. I don't know what that means for me. But I hope it means something good for you. She'd written it the night before I boarded the bus. Her handwriting had always been a little too precise, like someone trying too hard to be perfect. There was no return request. No last-minute plea. Just, goodbye. I didn't burn the letters. I didn't frame them either. I put them in a shoebox and tucked them away, like relics from another life. Because that's what they were. Proof of a world I survived. Of love warped by obsession. Of a girl who loved too deeply and never rightly. And of a boy who mistook possession for devotion, until he didn't. It's funny. In the quiet of this new city, I sometimes catch myself looking over my shoulder. Old habits die slow. But no one's there. No messages flood in at midnight. No footsteps mimic mine from behind street corners. Instead, there's new laughter. New friends. A girl with sunlight in her eyes, not shadows. Her name is Emmy. She asks questions Mayu never did. Like, what are you afraid of? Like, when do you feel most alive? And I answer without fear. One night, Emmy asked if I'd ever been in love before. I paused. And said, honestly, I thought I was. She nodded. Didn't press. And that's how I knew this was real. Not fireworks. Not an obsession. Not the high of being someone's entire world. Just the steady, quiet joy of being known, and safe. I still dream of Mayu sometimes. But in the dream, we're just two people walking opposite sides of a bridge. She smiles. I nod. No words. No reaching hands. Just peace. And that is enough.